Solid Mind here, and today we are looking at the Acer Nitro Blaze 7. Is this basically a rebranded handheld? Let's find out together.
Again, some of you might be aware, but Acer is getting into the handheld gaming space with their brand new Acer Nitro Blaze 7. So what we've got here is a Ryzen-powered handheld with a 7-inch display. But what if I was to tell you that this device already exists on the market? Albeit there are a few little differences here and there, and I'm not talking about a totally different device from, let's say, Neo or One X with the same specs. Of course, we've seen a lot of handhelds with a 7-inch display, a Ryzen 8000 series CPU.
Yeah, so Neo has made quite a few handhelds. I have made some reviews myself looking at some Neo handhelds myself. They are good. They are good. But if this is a rebranded version, then that raises some eyebrows.
I'm saying that this device has been on the market for about 8 months already, from a company out of China known as Terran's Force, and they call it the Handle 5. Like I mentioned, there are some key spec differences here, but they were originally going to release one known as the
This does look very similar. So if I go back a little bit, so this is the Handle 5. Okay, so pretty distinctive, I guess, look. Pretty, I guess, sharp edges. Let's go back a little bit. Ooh,
different device from, let's say,
that looks the same. That absolutely looks the
Neo
same.
or One X with the same specs. Of course, we've seen a lot of handheld.
But I guess my viewpoint is that isn't a bad thing that is the same. So a lot of companies do this where they OnePlus and Oppo are basically part of the same family. So if there have been some mergers or acquisitions, they might share R&D teams. What that means is that they might have, for example, the same design but maybe different internals. That does happen, especially when looking at some Oppo phones are sold as OnePlus phones with specs designed for a different market. So this might basically be a bare bones, I guess, design, and there's two versions. The Handle 5 might be for one market, and then the Acer Nitro Blaze 7 is for a different market. So this happens quite a lot in the IT space. You won't see it if you don't know it, but it does happen.
One known as the Handle 7 with the same exact specs as the Acer Blaze, but I guess Acer said, hey, we'll buy this from you. I'm not exactly sure how that works, and I'm not knocking anybody. I mean, this is actually a good strategy. A lot less R&D. Somebody's already got something made. Somebody's got something that works. So in some circumstances,
this is exactly what I said. And this happens a lot. For example, with Nokia. They don't make phones anymore, but still phones do come out. So this does happen. And on Acer's side, it's a really good idea because right now there's a lot of competitors out there. How can they compete with, Powkiddy, which is a little bit cheaper, or compete, with ROG Ally X, or the 1X player 1X. Obviously there's an Neo slide as well, and all those other Neo KUNs. There's so many competitors out there, so being able to start from bare bones might be a lot. There's already so much that's been adapted and changed. So just buying a pre-existing unit and then catering, because I feel like right now where we are in terms of handhelds is that the actual physical handhelds have gotten as good as they can. Maybe they can get better displays or better buttons, but in terms of like the big factor between why you should go for ROG Ally X or go for this, for example, Acer Nitro Blaze 7, is the interface, is how compatible it is can you play Steam, how do you play games. So it makes sense for Acer to just go and I guess, get the rights to a pre-existing handheld that probably isn't well known in the Western market, and then brand it under Acer. It's smart.
This can make a lot of sense for a company to go ahead and do this. They do offer this in 2 different color variants. They've got the black and the white, and I've actually got the white version right here. I took a look at the Handle 5 about 8 months ago on the channel. I'll leave a link to the video down below. There are some differences between this and the Blaze, but the overall design, shell, and everything, it's exactly
which should be expected.
The same unit. This one here has the Ryzen 7 7840U. The new Blaze is coming in with the Ryzen 7 8840U. We've got the same GPU, so it's the 780M.
So literally exactly what I said. They will change a few little bits maybe internally or cater the specs just so that the hardware is the same, but the software inside is special. I guess is different. Samsung did this on one of their phones, where depending on the region you bought the phone, you will either get a different chip to what you think you're getting. So this does happen even in the smartphone world. The phone you have right now most likely exists in a different version, a different spec for a different market.
Same amount of RAM. We've got 16 gigs here running at 6400 megahertz, and the screen is a bit different over on the Acer Blaze. With this, we've got a 7-inch 120 Hz FreeSync display. With the Acer Blaze, they've upped it to 144 Hz, but it's keeping that 7-inch size and FreeSync. And here's some images that Acer officially posted over on their website. You can see,
that looks gorgeous. That looks very nice. The color scheme is very nice. I'll give it that.
We've got the same exact layout. There's a dual vent system on the rear of this unit. Same button layout. They're both using a 50 watt-hour battery. And just to give you a better idea, here's the side-by-side. Obviously, Acer has kind of spruced it up a bit with some decals, and the only button that's really changed here is the left-hand button under the D-pad. So they've changed it to red. Looks like we've got a little lightning.
This makes sense. This makes sense. So in terms of physical production, if changing colors is often not a big deal, oftentimes when manufacturers make these handhelds, they already have like processes in place, like dyes in place or casts in place, where they can crank out hundreds of thousands of these handhelds. So not changing anything is a cost saving exercise. And will that affect sales? Literally it won't. So changing where buttons are placed or this and that won't make this more desirable. So it does make sense that they will just change the colors, because that's the cheapest thing you can do.
Bolt logo instead of a home logo on it, and that's probably going to open up our command center. Of course, Acer will have kind of a proprietary command center here to allow us to adjust the performance on this. I think we're also going to get a game launcher. But all in all, I mean, this is the same exact handheld minus that 144 hertz.
Okay, so let me finish it here. Is the Acer Nitro Blaze 7 just a rebranded handheld? The answer is yes and no. So for me, the areas where I would say it's not just rebranded is that they're gonna change a few little bits. It's not just like a white label device. What that means is that nothing gets changed and then you just ship it with a new logo. They're going to change some colors, which obviously is not a lot. They're going to change the entire UI. And I guess that's where it's, you can say, okay, it is rebranded, but maybe the difference might be the warranty, the support. But you can't deny it. It is the exact same handheld with a slightly worse display because of probably battery life. And maybe in the future they will release it with the OLED, which the normal one already has, but handhelds are. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.